Correlation does not imply causation. Just because A and B go together does not mean that A caused B. Maybe B caused A. Maybe something else, C, caused both A and B. This other variable C is called a lurking variable. Maybe it's coincidence and there's no connection between A and B. For example, small children and babies who sleep with the light on are more likely to grow up nearsighted than children who sleep in the dark, a team of U.S. researchers reported. A study of 479 children aged between 2 and 16 years shows that children who sleep with a room light on before the age of 2 are 5 times more likely to be nearsighted than children who sleep in the dark. Night lights were also linked to nearsightedness, but not as strongly as full overhead lighting. Our findings suggest that the absence of a nightly period of full darkness in early childhood may be an important risk factor in the development of nearsightedness, said Richard Stone, senior investigator and professor of ophthalmology at the Shy Institute in Pennsylvania. So what do you think? There's a correlation between having kids sleep with full overhead lighting and becoming nearsighted. What do you think? Do you think full overhead lighting causes nearsightedness? However, a later study at Ohio State University did not find that infants sleeping with the light on caused the development of myopia. It did find a strong link between parental myopia and the development of child myopia, also noting that myopic parents were more likely to leave a light on in their children's bedroom. So there is a correlation. There is a correlation between sleeping with the overhead light on and becoming nearsighted. But it's not like one caused the other. Instead, they're both caused by something else, by parental myopia. Nearsighted parents are more likely to leave the lights on so that they don't trip over something in a dark room, and they're more likely to have nearsighted kids, since there is a hereditary component to myopia. Here's another example. Nations whose people consume the most milk and dairy products per capita also win the most Nobel Prizes per capita, according to a new study published in the British journal Practical Neurology. Take Sweden, the country most associated with the Nobel Prizes. For every 10 million Swedes, there are roughly 32 Nobel Prizes. The Swedes also consume about 772 pounds of milk on average over the course of a year each. At the bottom of the list is China. The country has won 0.06 Nobel Prizes for 10 million people. Its first Nobel Prize was awarded last year to author Mo Yan. And the average person drinks less than 110 pounds of milk per year. The United States came in around the middle with roughly 11 Nobel wins per 10 million people and a milk consumption of 551 pounds per person per year. Here's what the full chart is. So notice, there really does seem to be this correlation here. It's not a perfect correlation, but countries that don't drink much milk don't win many Nobel Prizes per 10 million people, and countries that drink a lot of milk tend to win more Nobel Prizes, at least per 10 million people. So what do you think? Is it milk that's causing the winning of Nobel Prizes? Maybe. You never really know. But, a study doesn't prove a cause and effect relationship, cautions U.S. News and World Report. Instead, the authors posit that milk consumption might be a reflection of a strong educational system. So maybe that's the story. And I think another hint, too, might be that countries that are wealthier tend to drink more milk. But it's not an ironclad relationship. You never really know. Related to correlation does not imply causation is post hoc ergo propter hoc. This is Latin for after this, therefore because of this. A happened, and then B happened, so A must have caused B. Here's an example that I found. This was a newsletter that I received a number of years ago from Breakpoint, a prison fellowship. According to an article by Stanley Kurtz, ever since Norway recognized same-sex marriages in 1993, again by court decree, Norway has seen less frequent marriage, more frequent out-of-wedlock birth, and skyrocketing family dissolution. In other words, ever since this happened, this other thing has happened. Therefore, it's a consequence of what happened. But that's faulty logic. This is, again, beware of statements that begin like this. Ever since George Bush was elected, this has happened. Or ever since Barack Obama was elected, this has happened. Or ever since they took prayer out of public schools, such and such has happened. Be careful.